What's up everybody, Poodadoo here, and I am on a quest to build a complete Atari North American release cartridge set with none of my own money. And this box is gonna start it. Let's take a look.
Poodadoo!
Hey there everybody, Poodadoo here, and I have been an avid video game collector for many years. I've been reselling for even longer, and today I decided I was gonna start a series of building an Atari collection completely from scratch with none of my own money. Now, I say completely with scratch, but that's not entirely true. I have some cartridges from when I was a kid, but never a complete set. So what I thought I would do would be combine both of my loves. I would combine video game collecting with reselling and show you guys how you can build a complete collection, whether it's Atari, Nintendo, it doesn't matter, whatever you're into. Build an entire collection with none of your own money. And we're gonna start with this. So let's open this up and take a look. Okay, so this collection I bought off of eBay, and I will tell you, yes, I did spend my own money. So I kind of lied, but not really, because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how I spent my money, but I'm going to get all of that money back. So this was, and I'll put a link to the actual eBay auction. This was a lot that I bought off of eBay. I paid $100 for this lot, but there's enough stuff in here that I'm going to be able to recover that $100 plus more money. So yes, you do need money up front to start this. You really don't, but I mean, for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to show that I did. I started with $100, and I'm going to get all of that money back. So basically, this box will be for free. Not free right now, but will be for free. And I'm going to wind up reselling the stuff that I don't need and keeping the stuff that I do need. Now, this particular lot was interesting to me because this wasn't just Atari. This included a lot of other stuff. I believe there was some 5200 stuff in here, some 7800 stuff in here. There was some ColecoVision stuff in here, stuff that was actually pretty good, but there were 4 cartridges in this lot that I wanted, and I'm gonna find them. But before I do that, I have to tell you guys, this guy used lots of packing peanuts. So the peanuts are gonna go everywhere, and it's gonna be a hot mess. And there's nothing I can do about that. But I'm gonna show you what's in this box. I don't have one of those fancy overhead cameras, so I can't show you that way. I'm gonna have to show you the old school way of actually taking things out. So we're gonna make a big old mess. And we're gonna start with the first game that I found right here. This is one of the games that I wanted, and this thing is in beautiful condition, considering that it's a game that was made in 1983. This is Tapper. Tapper for the Atari 2600. Now, Tapper was an interesting game because it was one of the few games that actually translated really well onto the Atari 2600. Tapper on the Atari 2600 looks and feels like the actual arcade game. This game has all the game mechanics of the original one. It's not like Pac-Man where it's crappy graphics and things like that. This actually was fun to play and actually relived the arcade experience pretty well. So let's take a look at what else is in here. Now I'm going to show you the 4 games that I got that I needed for my collection. The second one I'm going to show you, this one's in a little bit, it's in good shape, but this is Amador for the Atari 2600. Now Amador is it's a game, it's a maze game, much like Pac-Man. But what the problem with a lot of these Atari cartridges is the cartridges would, the labels would wear over time, and the glue that held them together would cause the discoloration in the label. So that's the only problem with that. All right, so let's keep digging and see what else we've got in here. The next one that I needed, I'll show you everything that's in here at some point, but right now I'm just going through the ones. Okay, so here's another one. This one, considering the age, and again, the glue problem, this is Decathlon from Activision. This label looks phenomenal. There is very little glue wear, and Decathlon was one of those games that was very similar to Track and Field back in the day, and it was just a super great game, and I believe it's one of the only Atari 2600 Activision games I do not have. And the last one, this is Capture. Nothing really spectacular about this game, it's just one that I didn't have. It doesn't even sell for that much, but this was a Sears version of an Atari game called Flag Capture. And so the Sears brand, basically they rebranded everything as Telegames. And it basically plays the exact same way. It was just a way for Sears to get their brand on things, because Sears had a huge investment. They actually came out with their own version of the Atari 2600. Telegames system, and so they rebranded a lot of the games back in the day. So that's it. Those are the main games that I needed to add to my collection. Now let me show you how I'm going to pay for this. This box was interesting because it included quite a bit of decent titles. The guy originally wanted $125 for it. I asked $100. He did not hesitate. He just took it. The first thing that caught my eye was this guy right here. This is one of the big money makers. This is Decathlon from Activision, but this is for the Atari 7800. I don't own an Atari 7800. I don't know if I ever care to own an Atari 7800, but this was their version of Decathlon for that system. And this game sells for quite a bit. I'll put some sold listings right up here so you can see. So I'm going to go ahead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the games that I think will make me most of my money back, or all of it. And then we'll go from there. But I'll start a running total at the bottom. So this is Decathlon. That's going to be worth some decent money. Then you have a bunch of ColecoVision games. This is Mr. Do for the ColecoVision. For some reason, ColecoVision games do really well. This is Squish 'em Sam for the ColecoVision. Again, these cartridges are in really good shape. I don't have any way to test the ColecoVision, but they do really well. Here's another one that will make me some decent money. That is Smurf and Gargamel's Castle. Again, for the ColecoVision. I had a ColecoVision back in the day, but it's just not something that I want to collect right now. And he also has, see if I can lay hands on it. Yeah, there are 2 copies of Zaxxon for the ColecoVision. They go for probably about probably about $10. I'll put the sold listings here, and I'll run a total down to the bottom. But again, if you figure that each one of these minimum, let's say, is $10. There's $60 right there out of the $100 that I spent. Then you also got Rocky Super Action Boxing for the ColecoVision. Again, a pretty decent selling title. Let's see, what else do we have that's ColecoVision in here? Here's another one. Cosmic Avenger for the ColecoVision. So this was quite an assortment. And very interesting to buy this. Again, I only wanted those 4, but the rest of these are going to make me my money back. Switching back to the Atari now, we've got Qbert for the Atari 2600. That one does, generally as a rule of thumb, cartridges based on arcade ports do really well. This is Galaxian for the Atari 2600. Again, another game that looks and plays really well on the console. A very truthful and fair port of the arcade game. Now, what I'm going to do with some of these is, I already own this, but there's a thing called a label upgrade, where I'm going to look at the label of the one that I've got and see if it's a label upgrade. This is another highly popular, highly sought after title. And again, you can kind of see the glue issue under this label. The label's in great shape, but the glue underneath of it. Keystone Capers. This is a fun platformer maze game where you have to basically catch the bad guys. And again, you have to remember, you're dealing with a system that's 50 years old now, and there was a lot of graphical fidelity you had to give up in systems like that. Frogger is another very popular title. So that's it. What I'll do is I'll just kind of pull out some of the more interesting variants and the more interesting games, and then just kind of give you a basic freeway for Activision. Again, these are all, I paid $100 for this entire box, and there's a lot of quality stuff in here. There is some filler, but there's not much. Here's another one that's very popular, Krull. Again, popular is a relative thing. This is never going to get Nintendo prices, but for an Atari 2600, Krull does really well. What I will do with some of these is, if they're less than $10, I'll sell them for whatever the price is, and then I'll just add shipping on top of that. If it's $10 or more, I'll do free shipping. Free shipping sales tend to do better. So I'll wind up netting probably about $5 or $6 on the $10 games, and then $5 on the non-$10 games. But all the cartridges here are in really good shape. I'll just make a quick stack. I'll take the box aside, and I'll take a stack, and I'll just show you what's left in here. So we'll do a quick time lapse as I set all that up. Okay, so here's all the cartridges that I intend on selling to pay for those 4. As you can see from some of these titles, I should not have any problem recouping my money. And then what I'd like to be able to do is take the money extra over the $100, because I spent $100 on this lot. Take the money that's over $100 and use that to buy the next lot. So then I can truly say that I'm not spending any of my own money. Okay, that's it for episode 1 of my Atari 2600 collecting series. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it valuable. If you did, please hit that like button. It really does help me, and it helps the algorithm show my content to other people. I'll be doing more videos on this as I get more pieces into the collection. As I start to sell these items, I'll show you updates on that. If you're interested in doing this for yourself, I have another video which I'll put a link to right here that talks more about the reselling. Now, it's on my other channel, but hopefully you'll find it interesting, and hopefully you'll enjoy watching that. Until next time, thanks a lot, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.